In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a closable cardboard box. For your materials, you're going to need some tape and obviously cardboard. And for your tools, you're going to want a cutting utensil, measuring tool, and a writing utensil. So for the first step, we need to sketch what we're going to cut. For simplicity of this video, I'm going to make all the dimensions generally the same. So I will make everything 2.5 inches long. Now you can see that I stopped here at only 5 sides, and I did this for a specific reason. If you look here, so in this case, the 5 sides represents the base and obviously the 4 sides. However, the top, in order for it to properly stick through and lock on so it doesn't fall off, you want it to be a bit longer than the rest. So in this case, I'm going to go at least 2.5 inches and put a little bit extra. Now before we cut this, we just want to double check and try to imagine or measure to make sure when everything folds up, it'll all be the right dimensions. Now we did that, we can start cutting. If you're just using scissors like me to help be able to cut in corners like this, you fold the parts you already know you're going to fold. So in this case, I already know this side's going to be up, so I can just fold it and make it easier for me to cut back here. There we go. Now before we start folding this and taping it around, we're going to want to make this hole so that way we have the top piece for something to go through. So we know it'll be this one. And when we're cutting, we want to be careful not to put it too close to the top, otherwise this part's too thin and it can be easily breakable. So you just want to generalize it maybe like this. If you're also doing it with scissors like me, you have to be extra careful. It also may not penetrate perfectly, so that's why you also want to start cutting on the other side. Also be careful so you don't do that to whatever you're cutting on. Just to make sure it fits, we will make it a bit thicker, just in case. Okay, that should be good enough for now. So the next step is start folding everything up and taping it together. Make sure before taping it, you also crease the edges so it's easier for it to fold and it won't accidentally rip the tape off if you're trying to do this afterwards. Also, depending on how you want it, you could add more tape to make it more secure just in case, so it just won't start falling apart. Now for our final step, for the top, you can see that we have a bit of extra, which is an unnecessary amount we need, so we can cut off a bit of that. And for our next step, we're simply going to cut off 2 of the corners like this, so that way there's enough room for the middle part to go through. And for our final step of putting this in, you could see back here, you actually want to crease it, so I forgot to do that before I put on the tape, but I guess I'm just going to have to do it now. If you are creasing it after tape, you do have to be careful, just so you won't accidentally rip the tape off and then you got to re-stick it on. The reason why we have this crease is so it'll be easier to bend this back and put this hole through. Now obviously if your cardboard already had creases like this, it could make it more difficult. Yeah, this is the general idea of what you should have gotten. And that's it for the video. Goodbye.